everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. The winding road to the Super Bowl continues here in the divisional round, where two teams look to take another step towards the Super Bowl. It's the Panthers going up against the Vikings. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis as we hook up with our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game, as we've got a great one in store between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. They'll run for the first time with Hill. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. The wide receivers, often a very, very talented group, and that's the case here.
And they don't mind showcasing it either. Those guys love to be flashy, love to make big plays out in the open field. They will attempt to do so in this game.
So 2nd and 10 here. They run it again with Hill. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
When I see Sharif Floyd hit the field, I think of all the potential he has, and it's a lot of fun watching that come to the surface.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
This one now in their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And they'll go on the ground. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Give him 6 on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
What kind of game are we going to have in store for us? I understand the call here if it's the final 2 minutes and you're losing. But this is the opening drive of the game. That is too big a chance for my blood. But give them credit. They got it to pay off.
Let's go. Try 38.
Now Jones. And a quick throw here that's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Way to be here, baby. Not tonight, baby.
Fresh set of downs here.
Cut his left. Cut his left. Hey, 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 hey. Here we go. What? Nothing. What? Nothing. 57 to 5. 57 to 5. Go.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier and knock him down for a loss.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up. Throwing Jones. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. It makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Clock running under a minute to go in a scoreless first quarter. First down carry. It's Hill. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. And out of the Wildcat, it's Hill. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Tackle made there by Sharif Floyd.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. And now with the time of the play clock almost up, Ron Rivera's going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's third down.
Come on, let's go. 1-0. 1-0. Ohio.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. From the left hash, this from 39. And Myers able to knock it through. And the Panthers stake claim to a 3-0 lead. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
And some options here for the offense on 2nd and 2. A second down throw for Bridgewater. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. They run the counter now on first down. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move. The chains. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
runner now on second down. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Their dangerous wide receiver, 37 yards. And the Vikings have taken the lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
And so we have the touchdown. Now here's Blair Walsh to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Shift together here from the D-line. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage looked defensively. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Man, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
$12 yards to go on 3rd down. They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Play clock winding down. And they'll start the drive here with an end around. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. A gain of 3, second down. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more NFC playoff action after this. Here we go with 2nd and 7. They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy is going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. 2nd down, Bridgewater. Quick hitter here, it's complete. It goes as a gain of 8 and moves the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And again here, we'll see the Wildcat. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Bridgewater to throw it this time. And this one to Treadwell, complete. 11 yards for number 11.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. How can you get much more balance than this? Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Fresh set of downs here. first down. Bridgewater. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. Flush to his right. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now Jones. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Third down now following the completed pass.
Here we go. Grand 38.
Throwing Jones. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And not his best effort there as this one's going to be spotted down just outside of the 40-yard line. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Bridgewater up. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So after nearly turning it over, new life here for the offense on second down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he stopped immediately there. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Yet again, here's a wildcat look. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at fourth down. Here's Jeff Locke now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively, and now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. They'll hand it off now. Hill. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
In motion left goes a tight end. They stick on the ground on first down with Hill. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. So the offense looking at a 2nd and 8. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Making the stop there, Daniil Hunter.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here. They'll try and sneak it here. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
For those vertically challenged quarterbacks, here's a time where they will tell you it's an advantage to be a little bit on the smaller side, able to duck in behind their offensive line and stick the ball across the imaginary yellow line for a 1st down.
Shipped together here from the D-line. Now this time he'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. The 1st down screen pass, good for 5.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid game.
They'll come up now in the Wildcat package. And that formation won't yield much here as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. They just do get the play off as he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
A decent drive there to start the 3rd quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they do inch a bit closer.
Yeah, still lots of time to go in this one. Take the points, move on, and let your defense try to get the ball back.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now out comes Minnesota. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they'll run it here. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And we've got a dandy here, a 1-point game as we begin the fourth. So it'll be first down here after the run.
Tiger! Let's go! Force! Tiger! Tiger!
They come out here in the eye. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
2nd and very short here, less than a yard. They'll give it to him right up the gut. They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's 3rd down and inches.
So after that stop, you know that 3rd down is not a gimme if you're on the offensive team. So what are you going to do? Run it again? Or maybe you go play action and try and throw the ball and pick up the necessary yardage.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They'll turn to the power game at Olawale. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. The Vikings will go for it. Bridgewater. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And onto the field here come the Panthers. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
They come up in an offset eye. They'll come out in the pistol. On the counter, it's Hill. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass.
Let's go! What? None!
Back to throw now on second. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. Then they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Bridgewater to throw it this time. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And let's see what the defensive coordinator may have up his sleeve here to try to get this final last stand and win this football game. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Brought in over the middle by Grant. The reception good for 7. It's third down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is not with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle. He can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They come out here in the eye, and they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And the D-line pinching together, must be expecting the run. Hill, the lone setback. He'll get the football here. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. He'll look to throw to the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down.
Let's go! Ohio!
He's back to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And another timeout called by the Vikings now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They come out here in the eye.
Let's go! Tiger!
And they'll go on the ground. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. Another Wildcat look here. We've seen this a lot. And nowhere really to go there. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Try and pick it up with a counter. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
Victory all but assured now as they take a knee here, and they're going to escape with a one-point victory. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You loved the defensive.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.